Hello and welcome to episode 26 of the Mouses Makes Knitting Podcast. 26 episodes means I've been at this for 6 whole months, which is a little bit astonishing really. When I started it, I wasn't sure there was going to be more than one episode, but thanks to you people all tuning in, as it were, and watching every week, I've kept on going. And so far have managed to find something to waffle on about each week. So I want to start today with some thank yous. Thank you everyone who watches every week, everyone who subscribed. I know we've got some new subscribers and I want to welcome them, but thank you to those of you who've been with me right from the beginning. It is very much appreciated that you listen to my nonsense every week. Thank you also for everyone who's donated to the Mouses Makes Ko-fi account just recently. That is again very much appreciated. And finally, thank you for all the birthday wishes and gifts, some of which I have to show you later. I'm not going to show you all my birthday presents because this isn't primary school. I'm just going to show you the knitting related ones. And probably the first thing I should show you is my big present. Sorry, that's the sound of me moving a chair across the room. So, excuse the close-up. I have to get up very carefully and I'll explain why in a second. Now, oh, you can't really see it. Let me tip you down. Hang on, don't fall off, I'm going to tip you. This is my big present. And the reason I have to get up very carefully is that after wanting one for probably 40 years, I now have a rocking chair. And underneath the rocking chair is Poppy. She's curled up quite small in the middle of her cushion underneath, but I'm a little bit wary of squashing a paw or a tail, so I have to move very cautiously. Oh, let me just scoot over this. Oh, sorry. That's the other thing I've got to try and remember to do, not to rock it and make everyone who's watching seasick. I'm working on that. So Dave, Peter, Lauren and Ewan all clubbed together and bought me a rocking chair for my birthday to sit in my craft room, watch the world go by. Excuse me, just had my lunch. Do my recordings, have my Zooms in a nice comfy chair. And then to go with my comfy chair, my best friend gave me this cushion, which goes with, I don't know if you can see, the pictures above. Dave made me a while ago. So my cushion goes with my picture now. She also gave me, her husband is the one who makes the cushions and the Mouses Makes mugs. She also gave me this. He started doing key rings. That was quite exciting. And some earrings, but I said I was only going to show you my knitting related prezzies. So that was that. I also had from my lovely friend Nikki, who's quite a new friend, and this was not at all expected, and I was very, very surprised and very, very excited by all of this. So she sent me some pussycat enamel pins, which are really cute. This tin for keeping all my notions in, that's the lid, that's the back, and then inside that's the bottom, and that's the inside of the lid. So I feel like I've got to get a ginger cat now, because I haven't got a ginger cat. Not really, I'm only joking. The others would stage a walkout, I think. And she got me these little stitch markers. So there's, hang on, let me try and figure out how to do this properly. Little butterfly. A little mummy. I love him. A little witch's hat, and that's a very tiny pumpkin. I don't know if you can make that out. Purple foxy. And the last one, gosh, it's making my arms ache. A little glittery pink boar. So how sweet are they? What do I do with the tin? Oh, I'll put it up there. So I got those from my friend Nikki. I also got, and I haven't taken it out of its bag yet. I should have done really. This little tiny, it's a slice of, but let me take it out. Let me take it out so you can see. It's going to rustle, for which I apologise. Yeah, little tiny slice of birthday cake. It's got those little silver balls on top. That's really sweet. And from a company called The Wool Shed, they do a monthly birthday cake box. And I got one of those. And inside it, the company is The Wool Shed. They're on Etsy, Facebook and Instagram. And it came with a coaster. Quite true, really. I haven't got my drink on my coaster. I should have, really. That's also true. This, clearly, I'm going to have to stick on the door. Well, it is, isn't it? And also, which is very, very apt, definitely too much yarn and not enough time. And of course, there was also yarn. So this is the main skein, and this is called Birthday Cake. It's coming out not too bad on there, a little bit paler than it is in real life. And that's 100 grams of 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, in sock weight, obviously. And then it comes with 3 little mini skeins. This one is called Chocolate Cake. This one is Victoria Sponge. And this last one is Lemon Drizzle. That was very pretty. But that wasn't all my yarny birthday presents. The very, very kind Caroline and Arian. Caroline and Arian? No. Caroline and Andrew from the Aria Bark, and I'm rustling again, I do apologise. Aria Bark podcast. I won't show you the label because she keeps apologising for the label. Sent me this that they dyed up. And this is, again, 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And it's called Squished Kermit. And that was particularly funny because Rose has a habit of bringing in half a frog. She's eaten the other half. And the very morning that this arrived, we had half a frog left in the middle of the living room. So it was almost like they'd arranged it between them. I doubt that they did. I have got some more yarn to show you as well, because not realising that I would get some birthday yarn, I kind of bought myself some birthday yarn. Well, this one I didn't buy. Well, I did buy it, but not recently. This is one from my, well, my year-long advent calendar. This is the October one, and it's from what was Ange Knits. She's now Knit and Pearl Yarns, and it's again 75/25 superwash merino. No colourway name because it's from the advent calendar, but it's all pretty blues, turquoises, greens. Really pretty spring socks, I think, from that one. And I think I've mentioned her before. Ruth Loves to Knit. I know I have, because I did her. She and Little Monkeys and me did the shawl cowl. She was having a de-stash, and it was mentioned during a Zoom meeting, a Zoom Knit and Natter meeting. I think it was last Thursday's one in the evening. Someone mentioned it, and we were all sort of surreptitiously, oh yes, I'm just knitting along in the Zoom meeting, and we're all surreptitiously looking at our phones, checking out the de-stash. So I grabbed myself, I did wait till after the meeting, I grabbed myself this one, which is by Joanna Wood Paint, hand dyed yarns, and I think it's called Kandinsky. Could be several circles or several circles, I'm not sure. But yeah, that came from a de-stash. I'm quite interested to knit this one up, and I think, oh, it's 100% merino. I didn't realise that. I was going to make socks, but I won't because it's 100% merino. And as you probably know, socks are best with some nylon in to make them a bit more durable. And I also grabbed this one, which is by For the Love of Yarn. And this one is called Firestarter. And this one is merino and nylon, I've just checked. Yeah, so this will almost certainly be socks. Although it's so pretty, I might do another single skein shawl with it, because it's rather nice oranges and reds. And there's even some green and like a neon yellow. So it could be quite a Christmassy little scarf. So again, I bought those myself. And then Hobbycraft sent me a £5 off because it's your birthday code. And so we went yesterday into Yeovil. Ewan had booked to see the new James Bond film just for himself. So we took him in to see that. Dave is off this week, but he'd left his glasses at work on Saturday. Not his glasses, his phone. It wouldn't have mattered if it was his glasses because he's got about 7 pairs. No exaggeration at all. He didn't want to have varifocals, so he's got reading glasses, distance glasses, and computery type distance glasses. And he's got 2 pairs of each, and his old reading glasses. So he's literally got 7 pairs of glasses. So that wouldn't have mattered if he'd left one of those at work, but he didn't. He left his phone at work, which was a great tragedy. He left it there Saturday and we collected it Tuesday afternoon. But anyway, as we were in Yeovil, we went to Hobbycraft and I grabbed myself one of these because I do love the West Yorkshire spinners, and this was the only colour they had there that I hadn't already got. But because I had my £5 off voucher, it only cost me £2.50. So that was all right. So that is, I think, all my new stuff. That's all my associated to my birthday yarny things. Yes. So I'm going to have a sip of my drink because I'm really quite thirsty, so bear with me. And then I'll show you what I've been working on. I did warn you there might not be much knitting done, and there hasn't been. I've done a little bit more of this sock that I showed you last week, I think. It's Kay from the Bakery Bears. It's her Dunbrook sock pattern. And I think I was about there. I haven't done very much at all. I've done a little bit of that. The trouble is, I'm really fed up with everything that I'm knitting, and I know something exciting is coming, and rather than be sensible and clear my needles, I'm faffing around a bit and not getting much done, to put it bluntly. So I cast on another sock. This one, it's not coming out terribly well. This one is just my own pattern, but the yarn, oh, the yarn for the yellow sock is from Knit and Pearl Yarns. It's the yellow from her Sunflower Gardens sock set. But this one is Little Mouse House. It's coming out very pale there. It's got a bit more colour to it. If I move it closer, it's a bit more like it, but the pink is a little brighter than it's showing up there. This is from Little Mouse House, and it's her birthday bouquet sock yarn, which is 75-25 superwash merino and nylon. And yeah, I said it was called birthday bouquet, didn't I? I don't know if you were with us back then, but when I ordered the yarns for the sock along prizes, it came and she'd forgotten to put one in the package, and so she sent that to me with this as kind of an apology. So this was a freebie, so I'm claiming it as kind of a birthday present as well. So on my birthday I cast on some birthday sock yarns with the birthday bouquet yarn. Birthday sock yarns? That doesn't make any sense at all, does it? No. So that's all the sock knitting I've done, which amounts to not very much at all, really. Peter's cardigan, the ongoing saga of Peter's cardigan. I have cast on the left front and done the ribbing, and then I needed to change needles and I just couldn't be bothered. So that's got no further than that, I'm afraid. I tell you, I'm in a really funny mood knitting wise. I'm sorry if you can hear banging. That's Dave. Dave is down at the bottom of the garden in his little workshop that he's built down there, and he appears to be whacking something quite hard with a hammer. So yeah, sorry about that. This I have done a little bit of work on every now and again. Where the stitch marker is there is where it was, where I'd got to when I showed it to you last. So I've done a little bit, not very much. This is okay for knitting in the evening when I can't really be bothered to pay much attention to anything, because I'm at the stocking stitch, just go round and round and round stage with it. But this might get put on hold for a little while now because it is quite boring. And I think probably it was a mistake to cast on, it's the Rocket Tea by Tanis Fibre Arts. Technically it's the third one I've done, because the first one was a disaster, like 22 inches larger than it should be, round type disaster. The second one I knit and I finished and was great, and I wear it. And I was so pleased with it that I immediately cast that one on. And I think it was a bit of a mistake to do the same thing again straight away. Plus, I have about 3 other sweater patterns that I want to cast on. And I'm not letting myself do it until I finish that one, because I've already got that and Peter's cardigan. My cardigan that I was knitting, I've given up on. I'm going to use the yarn from that for something else, because although it was a DK, it was, or classed as a DK, it was so fine that it was knitting up more like a 4-ply, and I just wasn't getting the stitch definition for the pattern that I was using. But I have a plan for that I'm going to hopefully retain in my brain until I can do it again. So that's off the needles, but because it's been pulled down, not because it's been finished, so that doesn't really count. And I do very much want to start a couple of other sweaters that I should have started before now, because I really wanted them as autumn sweaters. And then the other night I was lying in bed not able to sleep, and another brilliant idea came to me, and I want to do that as well. Which is why I think I've got fed up with everything I'm knitting, because I've reached the stage of I want to move on to new stuff, and I don't feel I can, because I need to finish the stuff I'm making, but I don't want to finish the stuff I'm making because I want to move on to new stuff. We've all been there, I'm sure. I did kind of finish one thing though. I finished my enormous shawl, and it is enormous. It is the straight edge, the longest edge is 72 inches, which I think is 183 centimetres. I worked it out to be. It's huge. I've already had a lovely little sleep underneath it, so I'll try and show it to you, but as I say, it's pretty enormous. I don't think I can get it all in at the same time because it is quite big. I was really pleased with myself because, as you know, I'm not really a crocheter. I dabble every now and again when something takes my fancy, and I was going to have kind of a sawtooth edge to it, and I thought, I'm sure I can figure this out, and I managed to figure out how to fill in all the little triangles so that the long edge is now neat and tidy and is a finished edge. And I worked that out all by myself, so I was very pleased with myself about that. All I've got to do really is put tassels on the 3 points, and I don't quite know what to do. I had 500 grams of this, and it got so big I stopped at 400 grams, so I've got 100 grams left. And I don't know now whether to make a tassel for each point with the 100 grams I've got left, or whether to go with my original idea, which was to pick 3 colours from out of it and make a different coloured tassel for each point, because that was kind of how I visualised it when I started it, and now I don't know. So, but I mean, it's perfectly usable without the tassels. They are just for decoration, so I'm giving myself a bit of time to think about that. The other thing that's holding me up really is the attaching of said tassels. I'm not very proficient at attaching tassels, and I've been trying to work out if there's a way I can do it where I can take them off so that when I wash it the tassels don't end up all kind of ruined. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Yeah, so I'm thinking that one through at the moment, but in the meantime I've been using it sans tassel and it's been absolutely fine. So that is my one and only finished object, and I'm very pleased with it. I love it. Where it go in my chair? Oh, it would quite go with my chair. Although I have got my lovely blanket. I won the kit from Caroline's competition. I have been working on that I won't show you that because it's just, and here's another stripe and here's another stripe. I'll wait until I've got a bit further along and then I'll show you. But that's quite enjoyable to knit on, and you change colours quite regularly, so it keeps you interested. So that's really what I've been doing and what I've finished. But today is the 6th of October. Yes. I ought to know that really, didn't I? Bearing in mind how many days it is after my birthday. In 2 days' time, the first clue is released for Stephen West's latest mystery shawl knit along. I have to think about how I'm going to say that. I dithered about whether to sign up for it because I've not done one before. I'm not great with mystery things. I'd rather know where I'm going with something. But I regretted not doing it last year, and I regretted not doing the one he brought out at sort of Christmas, New Year. So I decided I would go for it, because let's face it, if I don't like it, I don't have to carry on with it. With that in mind, I didn't want to, I mean, you'll probably all know about it because everybody's talking about it. You need 5 different colours, but they must preferably be tonals. You can have one speckly as long as it's not madly speckled, but you don't want too patterned a yarn. And I'd looked at some kits. There are some beautiful kits that people are producing. And being quite an indecisive person, and you've probably noticed every colour I show you, I say this is my favourite colour, because they're all my favourite colours. It was very difficult. I couldn't have chosen a colour palette or a particular kit to make it. And because I'm not sure that I'm going to like it and I'm not sure that I'm going to finish it, I thought I'd have a look and see what I got in stash. My hand dyed, I haven't really got many tonals. I think I've got 2, possibly 3. I did contemplate when I saw this yarn from Caroline and Andrew. The yarns I've got that are tonals are, I think I've got 2 green and 1 pink. So I did contemplate, but I would still have needed a 5th colour. And again, I didn't want to use up my nice hand dyed yarn. I'm sorry it keeps going in and out. It must be because I'm at a funny distance from the camera, because I'm at a different distance from it than I normally am. Sorry, tangent, back on track. Didn't want to use my nice hand dyed yarns and then get 2-3 weeks into it and think, do you know what, I don't really like how this is coming out. What is going on there? My shoulder's doing something weird. You'd be forgiven for thinking I have ADHD. I don't. Or at least I've never been diagnosed with it, but it's quite possible I have it. Right, stop going off in a tangent, Mandy. So, decided to summarise, I wasn't going to use my precious hand dyeds until I tried the pattern. And I couldn't afford 80 to like 150 quid, depending where you got it from, to buy new yarns, new kits to do it with. So I thought, right, I know what I'm going to do. I've got various acrylic yarns. I'll have a look and see what I've got. And I came up with these 4. And they're coming out quite true to colour. And I like all these colours. So I thought, I'm going to do it in these 4, I've ordered to go with them. Oops, I had a beige, but I really don't like the beige, and I don't think it contrasts enough with the cream. So I've discarded the beige and I have ordered a navy to go with it. And I think that's the way to go, because I can use these. Obviously they're 4-ply acrylic rather than fingering weight merino or BFL or whatever, but it means it'll wash more easily. I can probably just bang it in the washing machine, but I can have a cheap trial run at it, and it will only have cost me £3 something for the ball of wool that I've bought. If I don't like it, or if I don't finish it for whatever reason, it's only cost me £3, not round about 100. So that was my decision. That was my thought process and what have you, my rationalisation for the Stephen West shawl cowl. My problem is, and I'm going to have a chat with podcasters who've done it before, I don't know what we can show you. This is obviously going to take a big chunk of knitting time, and my fear is that over the next 4 weeks as it's released, I'm going to be knitting like a maniac all my waking hours on this shawl, and then have nothing to show you in case you're doing it but are behind me with your knitting, and I don't want to ruin it for you. So I'm going to have a chat, I think, with Caroline and the other ladies I know who are doing it and who also podcast, and say, well, what are you doing? How are you handling it? So yeah, so that's going to be a challenge. And I think that's everything I have to tell you, other than talk about the sock along. So, sock along. There are 3 ways to enter. You can enter on Instagram using the hashtag either, and this is for finished objects, Halloween Cowl 2021. If you want the Halloween prize, I'll show you the prizes in just a second. Birthday Cowl 2021 if you want the birthday themed prize. You can enter on Ravelry. In the Mouses Makes group, there is a thread for Halloween finished objects, birthday finished objects, or you can just email me at mousesmakes@gmail.com if you can't use either of the other 2 platforms, with your finished object, and let me know which prize you're entering for. There's also on Instagram a chatter thread, a share your work thread, but not finished objects, just your works in progress, which is Mouses Makes Sock Along, just all one word, Mouses Makes Sock Along. And there's also on Ravelry a chatter thread, which I think is Sock Along 2021. It's quite easy to see when you get there, you'll know which one is which. But those 2 are not for finished objects, just for your works in progress. We have 2 Zoom knitting groups running. One is on a Thursday morning at 11 o'clock British Summer Time, and the other is at 6 o'clock British Summer Time in the evening, 6 p.m. British Summer Time. If you would like to join either of those, the easiest way to do it is to contact me on Instagram, where I'm amandajane.davies.58, and if you direct message me, I can add you to the Zoom group, Zoom chat group, or you can email me again at mousesmakes@gmail.com, and I will send you the ID and the passcode to get in. what I'm doing at the moment is I'm sending everybody both IDs and both passcodes, because of course they are different, because it was too complicated for me to work out how to make them both the same, so that you can choose whether you want to join us in the morning or the evening. I started the evening one so that the American ladies could join in and not have to get up in the middle of the night to do it, but you are more than welcome to join if you're in the UK. That's not a problem. It's just a different option. You know, not everyone's at home during the day and able to join into the morning one. I think that's all I have to tell you, apart from showing you the prizes. So I'm just going to pause quickly while I grab the prizes, because I didn't have enough room when I set up to have them over here. So Halloween prize is a batty bag with a purple lining, a set of mini skeins by Little Mouse House, and they're called Troll Music. Two different blues. Not coming out terribly different, but they are very different. This one is much paler and this one is much darker. There's a little packet of stitch markers, and they are little bats to go with your bag. That one is one of mine, because I wanted to leave your packet unopened. The birthday themed prize is this bag with a floral lining, a sock set, again by Little Mouse House, scented candles, which I don't know if the camera picks it up, is sort of a fade grey to cream, with two little minis with it, all superwash merino and nylon. And this comes with a set of stitch markers with a, hang on, let me try. The way I've done this has made it very difficult for myself. Possibly a Jaffa cake, possibly a chocolate shortbread or digestive, little piece of Battenberg, which, had I realised how much I was going to love it, I would have stolen it before I showed it to you. I'm going to have to order another set of these for myself just to get the piece of Battenberg. Little piece of birthday cake, and it's round the wrong way, let me turn it around, a jammy dodger. That's the birthday themed prize. There will also be an extra prize for my favourite pair of socks out of all the socks, and that winner will get this Mouses Makes mug and a set of the Troll Music mini skeins. So those are your prizes. You've got till excuse me, the 31st of October. I'll croak now, hang on. You've got till the 31st of October to get all your socks finished and entered, whichever way you're going to do that. I set myself a goal of knitting 8 pairs of socks. I've done 4. I've got 2. One's almost finished, one's kind of halfway, and I need another 2 pairs of socks. I know exactly what those other 2 pairs of socks are going to be. I've got to find the pattern for one. I've had it for years and years and years and not got round to knitting it. I saved it before I even used to knit socks because I liked it so much. So I've got to hook that out, and I've got another one that I can't say too much because I want to surprise you, that I also want to cast on. So it's entirely possible that over the next 4 weeks, all I'm going to be knitting on are these 4 final pairs of socks and the new Stephen West shawl. So if I can't show you the shawl, October's podcasts are going to get quite short, I think. Be like, here's the sock that I've done 4 rows on, and yeah, bye. Yeah, so hopefully I won't disappoint you too much over the next few weeks. But yes, there we go. So I think that's everything. I think I've told you everything. Remembered about the prizes and the Zoom and the hashtags and everything. I think that is everything. So a little bit longer than usual, which I apologise for. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm very much enjoying seeing all your socks come rolling in. If you're not joining in, it is worth having a look under those hashtags or having a look on Ravelry and just seeing what people are making. There are some very nice socks coming. And I think that's everything for today. So I'm going to go and clear up this humongous mess that I've made and probably sit in my nice new rocking chair and do a little bit of knitting while all this saves and uploads and what have you. So bye for now, everyone. Happy knitting.